To find a derivative using the quotient rule. Example number 1. You have 3x to the second minus x over 4x to the third minus 2x. To find the derivative, you're going to start with the bottom. It's the first thing you put up at the top. And then you're going to multiply that by the derivative of the top. Then you need subtraction. The top as it is, and then multiply against the derivative of the bottom. I always run out of room at the end. Maybe I can get it in here. There we go. Now the bottom is simply going to be squared. And we'll just leave it like that for now. So up here at the top, you're going to leave your 4x to the third minus 2x the way it is, but you need the derivative of the next quantity, and that would be 6x minus 1. Now 3x to the second minus x stays the same, but the derivative of the next quantity is 12x to the second minus 2. The bottom we'll leave alone. Alright, so now you just have to do some multiplication through here. And on the first set of quantities, you should come up with 24x to the fourth, and then minus 4x to the third, minus 12x squared, plus 2x. That's the FOIL. Notice you have a minus sign. So you need minus and then left-hand parenthesis because your entire quantity of that back half multiplication must go inside those parentheses. You'll have 36x to the fourth minus, that's a strange place to put the minus sign, but minus 6x squared minus 12x to the third minus 2x, or actually plus 2x. There we go. And all of that is inside of parentheses. Again, the bottom is going to stay the same. Now you have to change the sign of everything in that quantity on the back half. So on the front, it's going to stay 24x to the fourth minus 4x to the third minus 12x squared plus 2x, and then minus 36x to the fourth plus 6x squared plus 12x to the third minus 2x. Again, the bottom is going to stay the same. So you have to add like terms. From there, you have a 24x to the fourth minus 36x to the fourth. That should be a negative 12x to the fourth. Now your thirds, negative 4x to the third, 12x to the third, that should be 8x to the third. And then for your squares, minus 12x squared, minus, or is that a plus? Plus. Minus 12x squared plus 6x squared is minus 6x squared. And then you have plus 2x minus 2x. Those are now gone. Of course, the bottom stays the same. Your final answer of y prime should be negative 12x to the fourth plus 8x to the third minus 6x squared over 4x to the third minus 2x, that quantity squared. Now, if you left it like this, it's okay, but on this one, let's see if we can take it a little further. On the top, you can take out a 2x squared and be left with negative 6x squared plus 4x minus 3. And then on the bottom, you could multiply that out and see what you could come up with. we could have 16x to the 6th minus 8x to the 4th, and then minus 8x to the 4th plus 2x squared. Oh, is it 4x squared? Oh, you're right, it's 4x squared. Yeah. 4x squared. Strange looking 4. But down there it looks like we can take out a 4x squared, but you should really simplify in here first. And we'll make that 16x to the 6th minus 16x to the 4th, and then plus 4x squared. So on that bottom you could take out a 4x squared and be left with 4x to the 4th minus 4x, not 4x, it would just be minus 4, wouldn't it? 4x squared, and then on the back end we have plus 1. The top we had 2x squared times the quantity negative 6x squared plus 4x minus 3. So, and once again, when we factored out down here, we took out a 4x squared and came up with 4x to the 4th minus 4x squared, and then just plus 1. So you could cancel out here and be left with a 2 on the bottom, and the x squares could cancel out. So you'd leave the 2 up against that quantity and multiply it back out to be left with just something without parentheses, or this is fine too. Whichever, we can do it both ways. For your y prime, you're going to have to start with the bottom first, as it is, 3x to the 4th minus 3x squared, and multiply it by the derivative of the top, which is 2 plus 20x to the 3rd. And then we need the top, 2x plus 5x to the 4th, and multiply it by the derivative of the bottom, which would be 12x to the 3rd, and minus 6x. And of course all of this is going to be over 3x to the 4th minus 3x squared, and that's going to be the quantity squared. Now clearly you have to multiply all of this out, and then you have to change the sign of everything that ends up in that back quantity. So I'll skip to that step since we're running out of time. And once you get to that point, you should have 6x to the 4th plus 60x to the 7th minus 6x squared minus 60x to the 5th minus 60x to the 5th minus 24x to the 4th plus 12x to the 2nd, and then minus 60x to the 7th, and on the next line plus 30x to the 5th. Again, all of that is over the quantity squared of 3x to the 4th minus 3x squared. Now you have to simplify all of that, and pointing out a couple of things here, these will cancel out, so that makes it nice and neat. And then when you combine all of your other terms, you should have negative 30x to the 5th minus 18x to the 4th plus 6x squared, all of that over the quantity squared of 3x to the 4th minus 3x squared. Now, if you left it here, that's fine, but is there anybody that went further to factor out stuff? If you did, I'll continue on the next page and show you what happens there. So over here, if you multiply the bottom out, of course the top will stay the same, negative 30x to the 5th minus 18x to the 4th, and then plus 6x squared. On the bottom, when you multiply that out, you should have 9x to the 8th minus 18x to the 6th plus 9x to the 4th. Did anybody get that step so far? All right. Now, it's helpful that when you try to factor things out, see if you can take the same thing out of both. because if you take different things out of the top and the bottom like we did before, you end up really having to go back and multiply through by another number that's left over. So it looks to me like out of all of these things here, the highest term that you can take out is going to be a 3x squared. I think you can take a 3x squared out of everything. And on the top, that would leave you with negative 10x to the third minus 6x squared and then plus 2. On the bottom, if you take out a 3x squared, you would have 3x to the sixth minus 6x to the fourth plus 3x squared. And if you cancel out here and there, negative 10x to the third minus 6x squared plus 2, and on the bottom 3x to the sixth minus 6x to the fourth plus 3x squared.